Hi guys, number one Marmaduke fan here. I'm going to try to review this without tangents. Can I do it? So, Amazing Age, written by Matthew David Smith, illustrated by Jeremy Massey. This is a very simple, very straightforward story, and I'm giving it a recommendation because I think it really connects with the childhood importance of the superhero character and the importance of simplicity, especially for children of superhero characters. Good guys, bad guys, the good guys fight the bad guys, and the good guys win. So the way that Matthew explained this is that as a child, like a lot of children, like me, he created superheroes and he did these silly little, comics with them on the blue striped paper and stapled them together. And sometimes the superheroes looked a whole lot like existing superheroes from Marvel and DC. That I think that's something a lot of kids could identify with, and I identify with it. And he wanted to revisit those and kind of like lightly modernize them while keeping the childhood aspect of the characters, which I really appreciate. So his artist would give feedback. He'd have to maybe rename some of them that were a little too derivative of existing superheroes back in the day. But his way of framing it was the main character makes up superheroes, and they hint that while you make up these superheroes, there's another dimension where these characters actually exist. And when you stop creating them, it's like those characters stop, your avatar stops existing in that universe. So the other superheroes find the kids and bring them there because they have bad guys to fight, and the bad guys behave in very much the way that bad guys behave in a child's story. So it's a quick, rousing adventure, but it has this nice framing device where the young man's dealing with his father's death. He's not coping with it in a good way, and it's sort of like what he understood as a child about good and evil is what he needs now as an older teenager. So Matthew, I just really appreciated, seeing the examples of the work, how originally Black Knight was a little bit more like a Spider-Man character. He even talked about like the different ages where he'd revisit the characters and rework them, and the process of trying to update them and make them work in a contemporary story while retaining that childhood quality to them. And this is a pinup by Jason Rainey of, who's that? Oh, I forgot some of his character names, but they all have just they're elegantly simple, and things like this. These are the Maulers. He had a superhero team, a supervillain team that was kind of vaguely inspired by X-Men, where they fought the X-Mutants. And his artist Jeremy Massey proposed, well, what if we give them a bit more of a unified and threatening look with the masks? And Matthew praised that decision, and I think that's an excellent decision. It makes them more threatening. It makes them more intimidating. It gives them a unified team look, and the whole aspect of you creating something but that actually exists in another dimension. It reminds me of that Justice League episode where Green Lantern grew up admiring these Justice Society type heroes, and then the Justice League got to go and meet them in another dimension. So it adds a layer of seriousness, a layer of adult storytelling sensibility, while successfully keeping the sort of childhood energy of fun, simple heroes with fun powers and silly names fighting bad guys. That is kind of at the root of what I want to see in the majority of superhero stories. I think most superhero stories should have that in mind. And then the exception to the rule is once in a while you do something that like pushes the character to the limits, or like really like deconstructs the character. Like young children to teenagers need like good moral stories with heart to them. The tragedy of this series, I guess, well, let's take a look at this beautiful pinup by Rico Renzi, is this series has broken up and will not be published in Alterna Comics anymore. There was some disagreement over Alterna's social media policy, which was basically you can block people, but you should not use block bots because this blocks hundreds of thousands of potential customers, which I think is a completely reasonable social media policy. But you know what? I'm not going to comment on the disagreement between the groups. I hope that they get to finish their book Amazing Age. I hope they come back to Alterna Comics because newsprint is a perfect fit for this style. I waited to read it for a while because I thought the drawing was a little simple, but it's actually a good fit for the tone of a childlike, old school, golden age, amazing age superhero story. So very genuine, very simple, very straightforward, exactly what it says it is. A kid-friendly book I've really enjoyed the first 2 issues. It's sticking exactly to its roots and what it needs to be. And I will find a way to finish this series. I don't know if it's available digitally. I haven't found it yet, but I'll follow the creators, and I hope that they have a chance to finish this. With that, number one Marmaduke fan, let's wrap this up. We don't need no stinking 10-minute videos, YouTube. Love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Subscribe Star. The best way to support this channel. Check out Amazing Age. I will catch you later.